I think jiu-jitsu is always going to be a big part of MMA.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You have to train on all areas.
Mhm.
This we know this. We know you got to train boxing, Muay Thai, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. Like we know this. Um, but I don't think you're going to see as many finishes because of the rules. The rounds, 5 minute rounds, you know, really threw a bit of a monkey wrench into the whole jiu-jitsu strategy, which is, to wait till your opponent gets tired and then eventually capitalize and try to submit them. So when you have 5 minutes and you have these super high, what was jiu-jitsu's advantage? Well, it was taking people down to the ground where they didn't really know much about it. You bring in these high level wrestlers who now can dictate if the fight stands or goes to the ground. And, all they need to do is fundamentally be sound with their structure, their base, and their posture, and, avoid getting submitted. And then they get stood back up if there's not much going on the ground. It's just really stacked against the jiu-jitsu tactician. You have to be someone of a specialist like a Damian Maya. Again, super worked really, really hard. He understood, okay, if I have to use my jiu-jitsu, I got to get people to the ground. So he worked insanely on this wrestling. And even like the way he pulls guard sometimes is very strategic. It's
Mhm.
not it's not in a dumb way. It's a very smart way to do it. So you
Shoots
have
you
to
on
be
single, doesn't get it, pulls
you
half.
have to be it's like even the Ryan Halls, for example, like super dangerous with the leg lock game. You know what I mean? Like he's not the greatest striker or wrestler, but man, if he goes after your legs. So I think that you may have an advantage if you can specialize.
Mhm.
You need to specialize in something. You know, Damian Miner gets your back, it's over. Ryan Hall, Ryan Hall gets into your legs, it's over. Zachary Souza mounts you, it's over. You know what I mean? So you need to specialize. You're gonna need to specialize. You won't be able to just get away with a basic game. You know, I think a lot of it is because some of the old methods may be kind of been thrown to the wayside, and people like if you practice just sport jiu-jitsu the way sport jiu-jitsu is played now, and you try to cross over into MMA, it's not going to be an easy transition.
Yeah, I can
You
see.
know what I
Yeah,
mean? You have to train for years with learning how to block and defend and move and use your guard, and use your close guard and understanding like where the strikes are coming from and how to like these are things that need to be taught and learned, and they're not taught in the modern context of the sport. You know what I'm saying? So you basically have to go back. So if you're a modern jiu-jitsu player and you want to go and cross over to MMA, now you need to go back and relearn a whole bunch of stuff.
I think that's a beautiful statement right there because I think someone
And
that
that
embodies this really well, Hickson
so
Gracie,
if you
his
yes,
style.
and
Yeah.
if you like if if you try to go too soon, and that's why maybe you see maybe some modern jiu-jitsu guys are not faring as well in the sport or whatever, and crossing over into MMA. It's not because they're not good jiu-jitsu practitioners; they are, but maybe they're just not as sharp in that BJJ to MMA context, where they haven't practiced that for a long time. That realm
Yeah.
of getting hit while you roll, you know. So again, like I think jiu-jitsu is not like where it is at this point. You know what I mean?
I want to.
So,
I want to. Yeah.
and look,
Yes.
Josh made a good point here. Like Rodolfo took his time there making this transition to MMA. He took a couple of years just to focus on, you know, that fighting style for the cage, which is totally different, totally different. But Rodolfo has a great style for MMA as far as like he's a top player. He likes to be on top and he's very dominant. So if he just needs to, sharpen up a few things here and there, and I think he will make a good transition. But
Mhm.
or he has made a fairly good transition. But man, I think the odds are stacked against jiu-jitsu now. The way the game the way MMA works and the way it's being played, and the rounds have a lot to do with it, man. Like 5 minute rounds, you know,
What
and
what
high and
what
super
about the
high
5 minute
level,
rounds?
super high level caliber wrestlers coming in. You want to change or you want to give jiu-jitsu uh, a better chance, right? To do better, man. Allow kicks when guys are on their knees. Allow kicks to the face
Uh,
when guys are on their knees, not when they're standing. When they're on their knees, okay, it's going to change the game a little bit. You know, like
you can punish a wrestler for shooting doing a sloppy shot that way. Like there's a lot of advantages to that. Like you can't just
no, I'm
like
talking about like just how you're not allowed to kick the guy in the face
yeah.
if he's on his knees, like in your
Mhm.
guard, for example. I can't push away and kick you in the face.
Oh, I see that kind of stuff. Okay.
If you're like if I just pushed away and went for like a up kick while you're still on your knees, so
Yeah,
people are
you're not
just comfortable being in close guard, right? They don't want to take the risk of pushing the person away because they're going to get their guard passed. But if they were allowed to like maybe cause
up
some
kick from
damage, yeah, up kick him or
yeah.
cause some damage, maybe even find a way to get back up, there's it would change a little bit. I think I'm not saying completely overhaul the thing, but it would change things up a little bit.
Musasi has a couple finishes like that. You know, he finished Jacare Souza like that. And then not only the he also Anderson Silva guy has a DQ loss, which is realistically it doesn't look like a loss, but he knocked out Yushin Okami with that. With the up kick from closed guard, like while they were on their knees. That makes sense.
I think it would change things up a little bit. Maybe you might actually get a couple more KOs that way or TKOs. But again, it's just for jiu-jitsu practitioners to catch up in the wrestling game is going to be super crucial.